All right, y'all. So I have made a Facebook page and a YouTube page, and I've been a little bit busy on this campaign. And I still got a year and a couple of months before I even am eligible to go down to the circuit clerk's office and put my name on the ballot. But hey, you know what? Grassroots candidates have to work a little bit harder. I ain't asking for money. I ain't asking for donations. All I'm asking is for y'all to hear my message. And in listening to my message, if you think it's something that you can support, vote for me. You want to help me out? Because I'm not asking, again, I'm not asking for donations. I probably won't ask for donations. Now, I mean, if somebody wants to help out, I ain't going to tell them no. I'm not rich or anything, obviously. I'm a working stiff, probably just like you. But I see change, I see potential in my community. I see potential in Harrison County. And I want to channel that potential and make Harrison County that much more safer. Y'all, I believe we can do it. Those that know me know I don't do nothing half-ass. I come in here, I'm in here to win. Straight up. But I need your help. I need y'all to get my message out to people who share at least some of my views. Now, you're not going to agree with everything I say. But there was a great general, and I'm a historian. There was a great World War II general named George S. Patton that said that if everybody agrees on everything, then somebody isn't thinking. And I believe that. You're not going to agree with everything I say. But do y'all want what we have now? Or do y'all want to be safe? Do y'all want is the person that we have right now as our sheriff, if you think he's doing a great job, at least hear my message. That's all I ask. And then I want you to sit and ask yourself, why do you think he's doing such a great job? I don't want to run for this office. It's not a want. It's not an ego thing for me. Most politicians are narcissistic. I would venture to say that all politicians have just a little bit of narcissism in their personality. You have to. I'm not a politician. I'm not prim and proper. I'm going to give it to you hard and dirty. I'm going to give it to you raw because I respect you. If you're watching this video, you automatically have my respect because at least you have an open enough mind to understand what I'm trying to tell y'all. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is right now, I do not feel safe in Harrison County, Mississippi. Not as safe as not as safe as we could be. And I want to change that. Y'all, we need to get tough. We need to be tough on crime. We need to be tough on corrupt politicians. We need to be tough on, and this is what I want to get on this video. We would need to be tough on law enforcement officers who violate their oaths of office. Every law enforcement officer in the state of Mississippi has sworn an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Mississippi. Every one of them, except corrections, which really drives me crazy. I don't know why corrections in Mississippi aren't sworn. I was sworn in Florida. Um, I can tell you that when I'm sheriff, everybody will be sworn. Everybody. Corrections, sheriff's deputies, dispatchers, because your job is to uphold the law. Your job is to uphold the Constitution. And if you violate your oath, you're done. Period. Now, what does that mean? Violate your oath to uphold the Constitution. What exactly am I talking about here? There was a case in Hancock County where the city of Waveland just got sued. And this being a small ass world, it so happened to be a friend of mine that done it. Was all over YouTube. Small world, y'all. Jeff Gray, who is a First Amendment auditor. Normally, I don't think very kindly of First Amendment auditors. I think a lot of them are annoying, but Jeff is a different breed altogether. He backs up what he says he's going to do, and he goes after those who violate the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment. Well, let's take a look at those. What's the First Amendment? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble peaceably, and freedom to petition the government for a redress of your grievances. If I'm sheriff and somebody's not happy with me and the job I'm doing, I want to hear from you. If a lot of somebodies are not happy with what I'm doing and they decide to protest, that's their right. They want to hold up signs, looting, rioting. I'm not counting that. You loot, you start a riot, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a very big problem that you just don't want that smoke. Hands down. And we haven't had that in Mississippi like I've seen in other cities. You loot, you riot, we're going to have a problem. And it's going to be a very big problem that you are not prepared to handle. Let's get that straight right out of the gate. I'm not, you can do one without doing the other. You can assemble peaceably and not tear up the community. Let's get that straight right now. Before y'all sit there and go, well, Anthony's just going to let people tear up. No. That ain't going to happen. That will not happen. But if somebody walks up to one of my deputies and says, F you, I expect that deputy to act professional. I expect that deputy to not retaliate against that citizen for utilizing his First Amendment rights. Unfortunately, it's part of the job. If I had a nickel for every time in uniform I've been told F you, I'd be a rich man. I guarantee you I'd be a rich man. I'd be probably the richest man in the state of Mississippi. But it's how that deputy responds is what shows character. How that officer responds is what shows character. Another thing that I don't like that I'm dealing with and I'm fighting the city of Gulfport on because of a few bad officers. I'm not saying the whole department's bad, but there's a lot of bad officers. And this is something that I will absolutely not tolerate. I will kick your ass off the department, yank your certification, and you'll be lucky to go get a job working security somewhere by the time I'm done with you. I will politely remove your uniform and your right and your certification to be called a law enforcement officer in the state of Mississippi if you do this. Racial profiling, I have zero tolerance for. Newsflash, people. White people commit crimes too. I know it's shocking. Just because somebody is a minority and they happen to be out after a certain time in a certain neighborhood does not automatically give an officer probable cause to violate that person's Fourth Amendment rights. Now let's talk about the Fourth Amendment. What is that? For those of y'all that don't know, this is going to be kind of a constitutional training video, if you will. Right against unlawful searches and seizures. Well, what exactly does that mean? You ever been detained? That's a seizure under the Fourth Amendment. You ever had force used on you? That falls under the Fourth Amendment too. You ever had your car searched on the side of the road? Well, hey, that's a search, obviously. I'm just not going to put up with it. You want to search a car? Citizen says no. If you think you have probable cause, go the legal route. Don't backdoor your way in. Don't do an illegal search. And this is twofold why. Number one, I want to build trust in the community. It's called community policing. I want my deputies to gain the trust of the people they're supposed to protect and serve. Public servants, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Not to mention, these people, if you want to get down to it, pay our salary. They pay taxes in some form or fashion, one way or the other. They pay taxes. So why wouldn't we treat them with respect? Because they expect us to treat them with a certain amount of respect. And you know what? Why wouldn't you? It's a lot easier to be nice than it is to be a unpleasant person. And my grandma, who was a very smart woman, by the way, used to say you catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar. Now, I say that to say this: officers are human. Officers and deputies are going to get emotional. They're going to have bad days, and it's going to reflect sometimes poorly on their character. I get it. I've been there and done that. I've gone to work, and I've just been in a mood like, man, I wish this mother would. Yeah, been there, done that. I have gone to work, and I have been like, you know what? I've had it. But it's how you conduct yourself is going to determine what kind of person you are. And that comes with training and that comes with experience. You know, you have to learn to control that. You have to learn to leave your personal feelings outside of wearing a uniform. You may run into the guy that stole your girlfriend in high school. You may run into the guy that your wife's cheating on you with. I expect you to act professional because when you put your personal bias on and you put your personal feelings above professionalism, you're out of uniform. And I'm not going to have officers out of uniform. The uniform is professionalism. Personal bias, we all have them. All of us, we're guilty in some way, in some, we all have our types of people that we think shouldn't exist. Me personally, I don't like drug dealers and child molesters. I don't like those who beat their wives. But you got to be professional. You got to handle those situations professionally. If you think that a 5'2", 115-pound black female who lives and has lived her entire life in a certain area of North Gulfport could have dope on her, do some investigating. Don't pull her out of the car and beat the hell out of her because you think that's what you have to do because she's guilty of contempt of cop. Case actually happened, by the way, and it happened to a friend of mine. And I'm not happy about it. If you think that somebody might be up to no good, as long as you don't violate the Constitution or standing case law or standing Supreme Court decisions, game on. Go for it. Do it the right way. You think that guy might be high driving down the road? Check it, but do it the right way. Follow the law and be professional. If you can't, turn in your uniform, go get a job flipping burgers. because you don't need to be a law enforcement officer. If somebody comes into the jail and you are a correctional officer, and Biloxi or Gulfport PD brings in a child molester, treat that guy as if you have no clue why he's in there, because that's your job. If you can't do that, you don't belong as a correctional officer. Don't go down to tier and sit there and say, hey, we got a child molester in here. Y'all go ahead and do what you want with. No, no, no. We ain't doing that. Somebody gets mouthy with a cop, let them talk. Don't let them beat you for your cool. That's what I expect, and that's what I demand. Forget the expectations. That is a demand. That is a direct order when I'm sheriff. I'm not saying pretty please. I'm saying this is exactly how you will conduct yourselves. Period. Everybody will be treated the same. In my career, I've dealt with everything from misdemeanor offenses all the way up to death row inmates. Literally. And I'm telling you right now, everybody gets treated the same. If you can't treat everybody the same, you have a problem. A rather big one. If you can't treat people fairly, you have a problem. If you think that just because somebody's in a certain area, they're up to no good, maybe they are. What's policy say? What's the law say? You got a legal reason to check them? Check them. When I'm sheriff, yes, we will be going hard after criminals, but we're going to do it the proper way. We're going to do it in a way that convictions don't get overturned because somebody wanted to half ass something. We're going to do it in a way to where defense attorneys don't say, he violated Terry v. Ohio. He violated Rodriguez v. U.S. He violated Connor v. Graham. Or Graham v. Connor. We are going to do it cleaner. And we will get more convictions, get more drug dealers off the street, more criminals in prison, and make the community that much more safer. That's my goal as sheriff. That's what I want. I want I want officers to enforce the law. I want deputies to enforce the law. But I want to do it in a way to where it doesn't get turned over before it ever even goes to trial. That's what I want. Y'all have a good day.